Two of the Robinhood Capitalist. I'm one of your co-hosts, DJ Flores. Obviously, with me, as always, my co-host Stacey Barnes, and we are about to get started. So get ready, y'all.
You get one heartbeat song. Take it seriously. This is your masterpiece. Don't forget to dream and taste the colors in the air you breathe. It's your masterpiece. Go ahead and feel it all. Don't stop till it is beautiful. Don't stop till it is beautiful. Don't stop till it is beautiful.
Hey, and again, just like our song says, you get one heartbeat. So don't waste it. Don't stop till it's beautiful. How we're going to start the show from now on, guys, is we're going to set intention. How I think me and Stacey both like to live is by, I think most of what we do, we do try to do with intention, with full intention. And so, going to start the show from now on by setting our intention of the show. So, our intention of this show in episode 2 is going to be really to one, go through the background in business and franchising for Stacey and myself. We'll have Stacey start so I can shut up for a little bit, and then we will. And you can laugh, bring it out. But and then we after we go through our backgrounds, I really want to touch on some of the really basics and fundamentals where Stacey likes to start with new business owners, and that's with the 3 I's, which she'll get into. And then we'll plug our first guest starting next week on Tuesday. We'll start having guests. And our first guest is going to be David Perez. Amazing dude. He has a YouTube channel as well. We'll have that. And we'll have Stacey plug that and give some info on David and background on David as well. But I think you guys are really going to enjoy the conversation today and the background and what Stacey has to offer for us all. So Stacey, go ahead. I've done enough. Take it away.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. It is awesome again to be here with you guys. And I guess what DJ and I talked about, we're just going to let you know a little bit about us and kind of bring you in on our journey, where we've come from, where we're going, that sort of thing. So I am Stacey Barnes. I'm from a little place in North Carolina. I grew up in a little place called Seaboard, North Carolina. Actually 4 miles from Seaboard, and Seaboard was 600 people, so not a real big place. So out in the middle of nowhere. Have never in my life, I'm 53 now, never in my life have I lived in an actual town. so it's that's an interesting fact maybe. But I am married, have been married this year in July. It'll be 33 years of being married, and 2 kids.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
33. That's a long time.
2 kids that are grown and well-adjusted adults living in this crazy world. So that's my greatest accomplishment in life, I think. So that's pretty cool. But from the business side, a lot of where I started with franchising and getting to know and getting to where I am today was 23 or so years ago. I came across a company called Liberty Tax Service and John Hewitt. And I was just looking for a change. I didn't really know what to do next in life. I knew I wanted more. And they were advertising for the tax season that was upcoming, and they needed some help in technology, and that was my background. And so went and did an interview. It was a pretty new company at the time. It hadn't been in the United States for very long. The company started in Canada with 126 stores and then grew to the US. And so it felt like a really good opportunity. It wasn't a ton of money. It wasn't the great benefits. Matter of fact, I took a really big pay cut for the chance just to go work for a season and see what it was all about. But it paid off. And from there, that company, when I started, it was a couple hundred stores. We grew to over 4,000 locations across North America. And starting in technology, one of the first things I did for the company was created a technology training Because back then it was a little different, DJ. We still had floppy disk and no networks.
I remember floppy disk. I remember those. Those were. If kids seen those today, they would be like, "What the heck is this?"
We were transmitting tax returns via dial-up back in that day. So
Oh my goodness.
that's right. It was quite different. And so people had to know how to tweak their computers and add RAM and do some minimal things like that. So I just kind of created a comprehensive PC training that we took out to the field. And that went actually a lot better than I think anybody expected. And so I became director of training, and I was there for 20 years, and I started a couple of businesses while I was there, 3 different businesses while I was there. Had some pretty good growth and some nice exits from those businesses. And after about 20 years, I just decided it was time to start another business, doing and following my true passion. I was really lucky at Liberty because what I got to do a lot was just coach, mentor, and train business owners. So I worked with thousands of new business owners as they were starting their journey. And so what I decided was, well, this has been wonderful. It's been a great proving ground. I wanted to do it on a larger scale, and I wanted to make that my primary focus in life, is to help people find themselves, to have that self-awareness, to know what the next step is, to help them find clarity, and really, like we say in the promo there, just to help them find their own piece of heaven here on earth. And so I joined another franchise called Focal Point Business Coaching and Training. It was founded by Brian Tracy, and now we have coaches all over the world as part of Focal Point. But it's not like some of the coaching systems you see out there that's got tens of thousands of people. This is really a group of elite coaches. It's a really solid company. But what really drew me to Focal Point was the culture. The culture is all about constant and never-ending improvement, and that's what's really inside of my heart. That's what I'm all about. And so today, what I get to do is I get to spend time with business owners and executives and help them through their issues that they're dealing with. And I get to travel, like I'm on the road now at a conference, and I get to go out and speak and train. And I'm just kind of living my own dream here. So it's been an awesome journey for me.
Oh man. So everybody, so Stacey, thank you for sharing that, and your background is, and guys, he is being very humble. He's helped and changed and improved some amazing businesses. But you talked about something, and you hit on something. And before I go into my background, you hit on change and wanting more. And I feel like anybody who might be watching this, anybody, I mean, I was in that boat. I feel like had been in that boat for a really long time until recently. Um, and so it just felt like there was more. It felt like you need more. It felt like there's more out there, and you're just not getting it. You got to listen to that. What advice would you give somebody who is feeling that? You had mentioned that. What advice would you tell them if they're feeling like there is more? Like you said, like you just want more. You feel like
Well,
you're stuck. You need change.
I truly firmly believe that no matter where you are right now, if you feel like you're at the top of the mountain, or if you feel like you're at the very bottom of the heap, there's more. So it doesn't matter where we are, there is more. We can be better every day. We can help more people every day. We can be better ourselves every day. But you started this, you said we're going to go with intention. It takes intention, and it takes some guts too, because you've got this feeling, the voice in your head is saying, I know I can be better than I am. But there's another voice that's telling you, oh, no, you can't. And so it's that you versus you battle that we have to fight. And so, you say feed the good wolf. We have to feed that good voice, and you have to do something. So when you get that stir, it doesn't have to be a 50-point plan that you follow every step of the way. Just do something, because that action will lead to the next action, will lead to the next action. And all of a sudden, your life is completely and radically different and better than you ever thought it could be.
Ah, yes, amen, amen. And you also had mentioned changing your life, and it coincidentally feels like he had come into my world and changed mine too. But you dropped and mentioned John Hewitt. Obviously, we have Liberty brand, our loyalty brands up there. And you had mentioned Liberty, and John he's changed so many people's lives. And I think there's a great quote that really goes with a testament to John, and it's the true definition of success is not, it's how many people have told, how many people have thanked you for their success. And he has really changed a lot of people's lives. And that's kind of the mission of what we're trying to do with the show,
Yeah,
and
he's
what we're doing at Loyalty Points.
definitely a big part of changing my life, providing opportunities when I wasn't even sure that I deserved it or had any reason to get the opportunity. And so one of the things I learned was just if I can empower others, if I can help them see, sometimes we can see something in somebody else that they can't see in themselves. And people have seen things in me that I had no clue were there. And once it just starts to come out, it's like, whew, man, that was cool. I'm so thankful that they came into my life.
Oh, I love that you shared that. That's the goal of this show. And I want to finish with your mission. You had on David Perez's show. You shared your mission, and I loved it. So I want you to share with everybody your mission. But to really touch on what you said there too is when we're feeling that we need that more, that's something there. And the you versus you have to realize that it really is. I mean that was the biggest struggle for me, was feeling like the outside sources, the outside world was the one against me, but actually it was just this thing telling me that the rest of these other things going on are real, and most of the time they're not real. But share your mission of what your goal is with Focal Point, with your new journey, with your
Yeah.
new venture, and
So the and that internal battle is real. And so the first step is just understanding that you're absolutely worthy. You are worthy. And inside, if you tell yourself every day, I'm a worthless, I'm this, I'm that, and it's all negative, that's what you're going to become. And so you have to understand that I don't care who you are, I don't care where you are, I don't care your background, how old you are worthy of something great. It's just up to you with intention to go get it. And when I was looking for, because I could have just gone out on my own, because I have a pretty good history of coaching and training. But when I came across Focal Point, I was really attracted to the mission and vision that they have for the world. And so what we say is we are the pebble on the pond. And that pebble on the pond theory means that every time I help someone, I'm not just affecting that person, I'm affecting their family, their business, their coworkers, their community, their church. I'm affecting a large world. And so those ripples keep going out and out and out. And so what I truly believe is I can change the world through business, leadership, and education. And that's what I'm all about.
I love it. Yes, having and that's one of John's things, is having fun, changing lives, and
Yep.
changing the world. Is It goes right along with what you're saying. So everybody, again, you see the power of Stacey here and what he's been able to do and what his mission is. And really, it's the mission of our show. We really do want to change everyone's life, even if it's just one positive, small little thing. Just one little change in idea. Again, going back to the first show, was just that change or that challenge in one idea gave the guy the $500,000 check, the belief to believe he could do more, and it was just challenging or changing that one view. Um, but so background on Stacey, and background on myself. So I've been in sales my whole life. I've worked with. So I'm on the opposite side. So you get both views with this show of the franchising world, and so I was mostly either the franchisee of somebody franchising their own product or system, or worked for smaller franchisees who couldn't get out of their own way either. And so I was one of those unfortunate salespeople that always seen that ceiling. And because of the same thing Stacey kind of talked about with his experience, it was always just holding me there. And it felt like they never had this bigger vision, that I've always just had this crazy view on the world of the likes of visionaries like John Hewitt. And so it took me really to uh, fumble through a lot of experimenting, and I've never been just like I'm trying to be controlled now in the show. I've never been very controlled with excitement. If I see something exciting, I'm all in. I'm ready. Let's go. This sounds fun. So I never, I guess my risk to reward factor was just never a thing. That the better the risk, the more exciting it was. Um, and uh, I'm thankful for that because it really gave me the opportunity to kind of fumble through a lot of different trainings, a lot of different systems. So I started in the cellular world in the cricket franchising system. So I can tell you how the difference of co-op and advertising goes with systems such as the cell phone world. Was in that. We then ended up franchising and helping a local patio cover company, a unique product, expand. So I got to see that world. Got to a big national brand that started right in Ohio, where I was from. I got to expand that and kind of start the way they did, not on purpose, but knocking doors. Literally, the way they started, or at least the way they tell their story, is they started by just knocking doors. And literally went to Raleigh, North Carolina, just knocking doors. Nobody even know who we were. Um, and yeah, and that led me to then, okay, let's get out of home improvements and the automobile university of Zig Ziglar for a little while, and led me to behind a screen, which was a whole different world, and the logistics world. Ended up creating a decent book of business twice. Um, Started my own agency. COVID happened. Yeah, everybody knows what happened there, like most of us. And so it's transition time again. And big last wrist, all while trying to start and buy and purchase a flea market because I wanted to revolutionize the idea of flea markets. With the same concept of the movie The Founder and Ray Kroc, which I don't even know what I was thinking there. But that's, again, these crazy big dreams, and I need people like Stacey to hone me in and keep me controlled, and that's where the mentors, these people I listen to, and I drop their names a lot. They will come. Very crucial for you too. Again, if you don't have the people that are right there in your vicinity, in your network currently, reach out. Evan Carmichael likes to share that a lot, and that's really what changed me. And led me to from brokerage to here. And here I am on a screen talking to you. I got the introduction to John Hewitt from just sharing content and sharing my story, sharing my voice. And so I really believe that everybody should empower themselves to share. I truly believe in my mission of the show is, and with our guest, and is sharing stories. You don't know who's listening or who's watching and who can learn from what you're going through. So don't fight that. Pain is optional, or pain is necessary. Suffering is optional. Share the pain though that you're going through. I think the more we can share that, the more people will connect with you, and they'll understand and they'll help you. And like Stacey had mentioned, this the game of life really in the end is you versus you. And so when you can surround yourself with the right network, the right group of people, the right group of mentors, um, the right group of coaches like Stacey, Coach Stacey B here, uh, it will keep you controlled, it will keep you contained, and it will keep you focused on what the goal is. Because like you had mentioned, Stacey, and we'll get back to you because I want to touch on this with you, is you mentioned about and I think so. Ray Dalio says there's, I think, 5 or 6 different types of people throughout humanity. Scrape off all the excess, whatever information you want to call it, and just get to the basics and the most simple. There's 5 or 6 different types of people. And I think that what you touched on is what a lot of people like to call high achievers or something like that. But I think it's more just our innate humanity. We want to adapt. We want to. I think the reason we're the only creation of God that starts as a baby that can't move. A horse, when a horse is born, it can do everything it can do within the first like 5 minutes of life. It starts walking and it's good. A baby, if you leave a human baby there, it'll die. It needs fed. It needs, because we have so much that we can really create within ourselves. It's unlocking that, and that's what we really want to help you all do, is unlock that greatness, like Stacey was talking about, inside you. Um, you mentioned about wanting the next thing. I think for people like us, anybody who's watching this, anybody who's always on that search for more, that search for the next level, personal growth, that development, they're self aware. I think life really is. Matthew McConaughey probably explained it best in a recent video with Ed Milet, and he said it's where the joy is in the destination, or is in the journey. It's not in the destination. We are creatures that just want to get to this next mountain so we can see, oh, that mountain looks cool. Oh, I want to try that. That mountain looks cool. And we just want more. We're never going the destination. We're never going to be happy with the destination. Forget the destination. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the pain. Enjoy the challenges, and enjoy the growth. Thoughts on that?
No, life is really incredibly short when you think about it. My kids went from those babies you mentioned to grown adults having their own babies, and it seems like that. And if you're miserable and you're on a journey that's no fun, you're on the wrong journey, because you don't. This isn't a dress rehearsal. You get one shot at this life, and if it's the wrong path, pick another path.
Yes. I love that you said that. So we'll get into a little Coach Stacey B here, business breaking down for you guys. But he talked about and likes to go into with new business owners, the three I's. Can you give a little background on the three I's, and I guess go into where that really will help? Maybe any of our viewers who catch this either live or catch this on the recording. Just lead how that the three I's can help.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily new business owners. A lot of long-time business owners are dealing with these same issues, and whether it's an owner or an executive in a business, or just a key leader in a business, there's four main things that I typically help people through. Time is a big one. There's never enough of it. Money is a big one. There's rarely enough of it. Team is an issue, and building and surrounding yourself with the right people. And then finally, planning, strategic planning, and exit planning. And so those are the four kind of key areas that we spend a lot of time with people on. But when I work with a lot of folks, one of the first things they'll tell me is, I don't have time for this. The business is running me. I'm not running the business. I feel like there's so much on me. I'm working weekends. I'm working nights. I just want to get to a place where, and then they fill in the blank with what their ideal is. And there's a great book out there called The E-Myth Revisited. Michael Gerber is the author. But it's kind of like a little parable, but it goes through the story of a lady who loved to bake and then starts a bakery, and all the trials and tribulations of what the difference is going from something you love to do to owning a business that does something you love to do, because it's two completely different things. And he gives us this concept in the book called the three I's of a business owner. And the first I is, when I draw this on the screen, I normally draw this eye with bloodshot, and it's looking down, because it's the eye of the technician. So if we're baking, this is the person that's rolling the dough and baking, and they're just right in there in the present day, handling the whirlwind of stuff that's coming right there in front of them. And that's where their focus is on being the technician, the doer of the business. And the second level of eye is the eye of our management eye. And so if I was going to give you an illustration of that one is looking back. Because a lot of times as a manager, what you're doing is you're looking at results. And results aren't leading indicators, they're lagging indicators. So it's things that have already occurred, but you're looking at results and trying to manage the technician so that you can get better results going forward, right? And then the third eye, this is where we'll draw looking forward, because this is the eye of the business owner, the eye of the entrepreneur. This is the visionary. This is where you got your eye on the prize. You're setting the tone for everything else. It's the eye of the business owner, entrepreneur. And when I talk to people and I say, "No, where are you spending the most of your time in your business?" Typically, there's very little time on the eye of the business owner. They're not doing activities of an owner. They're not building partnerships. They're not looking ahead. They're not bringing in the financing. They're so caught up in the day-to-day technician and management work of the business that the business itself is suffering because they're not doing what they should do. And so, like DJ, if I was going to work with you on this, I would say, well, what salary are you expecting to get? Not necessarily salary, but how much are you expecting to take from the business? And then we'll break that down to an hourly basis. And so usually they'll give me a number, 100, 200, $500 an hour is what I expect to make as the owner. And when I look, okay, well, where are you spending your time? And they say, well, 80% of my time is as a technician. So I've got a $500 an hour employee doing a $15 an hour job. And so what most and a lot of business owners have learned is they didn't invest in a business. They bought a job. And that wasn't anything that they wanted to do when they started.
I could just let you keep going on that because I think there's so much power to what you said. I've been trapped there. I feel trapped there sometimes now.
Yeah.
And it's
We've all been trapped there.
Yeah. I think it's everybody listening can understand that feeling that you're explaining. How do you get out? Explain how you teach them to get out of there. How do you?
It starts with me. You have to look in the mirror and be a better you. If you want better kids, be a better parent. If you want a better spouse, be a better spouse. Well, if you want a better team, be a better leader. And so it starts with you. And you have to be very intentional about where is my time going to go? What is the most important thing that I should be doing today that only I can do? And then somebody else has got to do the rest. That's the only way you can grow and scale. But the big thing, DJ, is if it's just me and I'm in charge and doing everything, I can't scale that business because my leadership ability is going to limit what I can do. That's the lid. My leadership ability is the lid on what I can accomplish. And so I have to raise that ability. And as I'm raising my skills, I have to raise the leadership skills of the people around me, because now I have to make sure that I empower and trust you to do what you're supposed to do. And then I have to trust somebody else to do what they're supposed to do so that I can spend the time where I need to spend the time for the business to scale and grow and get where I want it to go.
So I love you. I love that you said that. Now, that was probably even for my dad. So thankfully with my dad, I seen that drive and got that push that I need more. One thing my dad taught me that I really just connected to and really it connected the dots to everything was he would always say while he's working hard, because he didn't graduate high school, became a mechanic, had us young, had me young. He was 18 when he had me, and so just went to work. And so I got to see unbelievable work ethic because he just worked nonstop, raising 4 kids, trying to keep the old school view on the world of my mom not working and raising us. So thankfully they did that. So we got to feel a lot of love too. And I think that's what's missing today. But he also would always tell us as he was working, I don't want you to do what I'm doing. I don't want you to work with your hands. I want you to work with your brain. And so it's funny because I love to do the remodeling stuff that he did and does and can do. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't focus on that. Just like you're saying that the mechanic, I can't be the one doing it. I have to be up here controlling and overseeing it all. And I think that's where we get stuck is we go right back to our safety. We go right back to, well, nobody can do it as good as I can. Nobody will do it just as good. How do you overcome that? Because I think, at least with all of the franchisees, the smaller companies that I felt really stuck, that I talked about the ceiling, they were always there. They were at the point that I felt like, even the most recent, I was working with a big franchisee for a plumbing company, and he's at the point, I mean, $50 million in business, and he was still the world of, and it's like, hold on, like, what are you doing? You need a team. Like at this point, where's your team? You need you're still trying to take on the world and you're trying to control it. And and it was chaos there. And so got out quick, but it was chaos. And I think we all get stuck there because we feel like, oh, I can't let go of this. This is my baby. This is my thing, my customers. How do you help them overcome that?
Yeah, so it's a process. It's not something that you can do overnight because it is ingrained in us. It's a lot of times. I mean, we're raised with sayings like, "If you want it done right, you have to do it yourself," and things like that. And that's the attitude that a lot of people bring. And so what I try to
Right.
do first is one of the issues we think, boy, if I could start this business, it's going to change my life and it's going to be exactly what I want. And so you spend all of your time working on the business, all your time working on the business, and it's not providing the life you want because you didn't take the time on the front end to say, well, what life do I want? What time do I want with my kids and my spouse? What time do I want to give back to my community and my church? What life do I want? And then how can I build a business that supports that? What we all spend
Yes.
time doing is we say, well, I'm going to build this business and it's going to change my life. No, it will, but maybe not in the way that you're wanting. So step one is, what do you really want? How can I help you gain clarity on what you really want to get in life? And then how can we design this business to make it happen? And for some people, maybe it is a one location solopreneur job and business that they really want to do. That's going to give them what they're looking for. Great. I'm not saying that that's too small or too big or anything else,
I
but
agree.
if you don't know what outcome you're shooting for, it's going to be awfully hard to get to it.
Kind of hard to hit a target if you don't see the target, right?
Yeah. Or if it's not a target, even
Yeah, there's no target, there's no goal, there's no long vision. Yes, I love that you said that. Um, One of the last things really wanted to touch on this show is our guest next week. And Stacey, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, check it out. I will put it in the link on YouTube under this show. But David and Stacey had an amazing show. I think it was about 7 or 8 months ago. It's on YouTube on David's channel. Um, and they really deep dive into this and a few more other things. But one of the things David said, I don't know if it was on that show or I ended up catching something else that he did, but he said something, and I want to kind of end with this: is don't live a life not worth documenting. That that was like, I think I paused it and I was like, I gotta write this down. Oh my goodness, that's so good. I'm gonna share this. That's the headline for him as the guest. Like that is what I feel like anybody who's watching the show, anybody who is on that journey for more, who always feels restless, who always feels like there's more, like they just have this. I feel like I have this beast inside of me. I just have to let out, and I, I feel like anybody who feels that way, that this is really our goal in the end, is you feel like you have that in you. You have this life that you want to live, but then just boom, create this masterpiece like the beginning of our song talks about. If touch on that quote, and I'll say it again, and then really just we'll finish with that quote and kind of the morning routine of, and maybe we'll get into that, but they don't live a life not worth documenting. Don't live a life not worth documenting. What does that mean to you, Stace?
well, first off, David is a great guy. I've known him for a lot of years, and I got to meet him through Liberty Tax, and he has since started a tax planning business. He's got an events business that he runs. He's been in insurance and just tons of other things. He's got a health arm of his business now. He wrote a book called Building Your Own Economy that's awesome, that tells his story of and his journey. And so he's just a good guy, and I'm just honored as I can be that he lets me go in every once in a while and get to work with his team, because he's got a great team of people that he's built around him too. And so I really think you're going to enjoy the interview. But he definitely strives to live a life that's worth documenting, and he understands, just like we've talked about, DJ, about the how important it is to constant, never-ending improvement in our lives. He he lives that perfectly. He will invest in himself as much as anyone, and I've seen such growth in the years that I've known him. And I tell him this to his face. It's like, dude, you have come so far. It's just amazing what you've done. And so I think you guys are going to really enjoy the conversation. But one of the things he and I talk about is just that importance of kicking that day off right. And we talked about this a little bit on the first episode. But he also believes that if you can wake up in the morning, as a matter of fact, when we switch next week from afternoon to morning, he just texted me and said, you know how I love meaningful morning conversations. And that wasn't a joke. He was true. He was happy to move it to the morning because if you start your day with filling your body with physical activity, your mind with mental activity, and your spirit with devotion and spiritual activity, that's a successful start to any given day. And you guys are going to just love the interview. He's a great dude.
I love that you shared that. So this is again my crazy imagination. I was given the gift of that, and I think I was given the gift by my parents to be a kid as long as I could, and it's kept me a kid. But and so I'm just a big kid with a crazy imagination. But what you said there is what I think masterpiece in our intro song, and what that really I feel like, and why one of my things that so I like I said, we're all kind of intertwined. We all do the same. I seen he even had a shout out David, but he had a video, a day in the life of, where he wakes up early and shows his routine. I think he was up at 4:15 or 4:30 or something like that, and does his routine. And I every successful person I've listened to, studied, wanted to maybe just emulate their success in some way. They all had some kind of morning routine. And then there's just books on books about the miracle morning, 5 a.m. club, all of these different. And so I knew there had to be something to it. But one of the things that I do is a gratitude list in the morning, and I list 4 things. And my 5th is always, forever, and always will be, fresh 24. And I play on that word and that quote, 24 shot clock, obviously, or a shot clock. And in football, you do this to start the game clock over again, or the play clock over again. Basketball, same thing. But I feel like every morning we wake up, we get a blank canvas. We get, if you forget that yesterday, whatever happened, good or bad, it happened yesterday. It's back there. It's in the rear view, and now you got a new canvas to paint. Shout out to Joanna if she's watching or watches this later. She paints pictures live, almost like a Bob Ross type idea. She really turned her passion into a business. She was unhappy, unsatisfied with what she was doing. Said, "I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just going to start painting," and really enjoys painting. Started doing videos online, and now that's turned her passion into her profession. And that's what I think our goal really of this show is, to help you all do that. But again, to the painting, new day, new canvas. I think how you start your morning is kind of like, and that morning routine, that whatever that is that you do, however you start, good or bad, I think that's you pulling the colors out of if you're using crayons or using paint, the better, the more right you start your morning with some sort of routine of like Stacey likes to focus on, the devotion of moving and exercise. Usually it's movement, some sort of movement, exercise, reading, journaling, meditation is what I do. But as you're doing those, I feel like that's you pulling out those bright colors. Instead of the dark colors from yesterday, you're starting to pull out these bright, cool, really great colors that you now get to paint the rest of the day with. And I really think intentionally, if you do and start your day that way and picture it how I just tried to hopefully paint that here in the messages, starting your day right, starting your day as fresh, new. It's a new opportunity to face the challenges that you know you're going to face. But what bright colors can you pull from that coloring box or whatever, and to really paint and counteract the day? That's really what we're trying to do. It's us against us, just counteracting what's coming from us to really just teach us lessons. I think every single thing that happens in our life, I think I have a post, I might even throw it up as I toss it back to you, but I really believe everything that happens in our life, there are no coincidences. There's either a reason, a lesson that we're supposed to learn, or it's a blessing. But every single event, every single thing that happens, somebody else, the universe, whatever you want to believe in, um, is putting that there for us. I think we are the creators of that. I think we have more power to create anything that we really want to create, and that's really what we in the end want to. And my goal, I guess, my mission is to help people realize that they have some crazy, amazing, powerful, bright colors inside. They just gotta surround themselves with the right people to pull them out.
No, right on, man. And Coach Michael Burt and his book "Flip the Switch," the way he describes it as a former basketball coach is every night at midnight, the scoreboard, the clock, it resets. Every day is a new day to get out and win, and that's starting the day on a good note. That's a big part of the battle of winning the day.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's really, and it really just comes down to me, at least to my view on it, Stacey, and I'd like to hear yours, is I feel like it's just really, it's almost like Steve Harvey. Again, I'm going to drop so many different people. This is going to just make people think all I do is listen to this stuff. I promise I don't. But Steve Harvey likes to paint the idea, or the way you start your day. He has a really great video. Maybe I'll share this too. But he goes into, he was working. I forget what he was doing or selling at the time, but he's selling something, and he had a guy who was his mentor, who was like a seasoned guy in this company, that would call him every morning at 5 a.m. Hey, Steve, it's gonna be a great day. Got it. And he's like, "What do you want?" I forget the guy's name, but again, I can't do any justice to how Steve explains it. But what he gets to in the end is really, this guy was trying to teach him that how you wake up is how your day is going to turn. And the way Steve then paints it so perfectly, I think, in his explanation, is picture you start your day, and you brand new day. It's a work shift, brand new work shift, and you're having a meeting with the foreman before time, before everybody starts, before the day starts, and you're telling your foreman up here either it's going to be a good day or it's going to be a bad day. And then all of a sudden, things are going to start coming in your direction. Hey, he thinks it's going to be a bad day. This is failing. This is going wrong. And next thing you know, you're like, what's going on? But it's you. It's us creating those bad days from our the way we're starting. And like you said, tell that Fordman it's going to be a great day. Great things are going to happen. This is going to happen. This challenge might happen, but it's going to be great. And I know a lot of people feel like that's just fooling yourself. That's just teasing yourself. That's just playing games. But it's not. It's not pretend. You don't have to pretend. It's real. Be excited about the challenges. Be excited about whatever new problem you have to face. If you
So
could just
the first thing I do when I get up these days, DJ, is I have some folks that have requested a morning text that's kind of that same thing. So every morning I wake up, I think about something that'll help them spur and start their day, and I send the text message out. I know it can be automated. I could use Chat GPT, but I don't do those things. It comes from my heart, and it helps others get their day started, hopefully in a mindset to get stuff done.
I'll go into that a little bit more, about just mindset and why starting with that right mindset, and then we'll actually close this out here in a minute.
Well, we started with intention, and if you're not careful with all the distractions that we have around us in this modern day world, your entire half a day can be gone, and nothing has happened, and the whole world is filling your calendar with stuff you're not. The whole world is filling your brain with stuff that's not positive, and you're not. And all of that will just wear you down, and you get into this rut. And once every morning, you're just digging it deeper and digging it deeper, and you're becoming more set. And sometimes it takes, one of those things that says never again for people to get out of the rut. What we want to do is help you not have to get to that point that you reach a never again moment. We just want to help you get your awareness that there's something better. Let me start looking for it and figure out what my place in this world really is.
Uh, we do all have a place. I love that you said that. We are all interconnected. I truly believe that. Like the Matrix. There's so much truth and validity to so many movies. I think they kind of even throw some of these ideas out there to get you to think it's just woo woo instead of real life and real in real
I
instance.
feel I feel compelled to to dodge bullets.
Yeah. Kelly, no worries. And again, everybody else, thank you for the comments. Mary was there here bright and early before we even started. So shout out to Mary, shout out Antoine, Facebook user. I seen didn't give us your name, and then Kelly, no worries. Again, thank you as always for the support and just all the love. Um, I you said intention, and so I think again how we really want to set the intention for everything we do. I think you'll see from Stacey and I, we're pretty intentional with most things that we try to do or try to plan. Obviously, again, the curveball, tug. There's I forget the exact words, but something like tell God your plans and he'll laugh or something like that. It's there's going to be whatever we paint this vision might not happen the way that it does. We're going to share a lot of those stories. We'll have business owners on here, entrepreneurs, founders, starters, who will share those journeys and those stories. And in the end, I think really what we hope that everybody gains from us doing the show. John likes to share the story of, and we'll kind of finish here and it's just for that pushing to be the best. If you feel like, and again, running on that whole vibe of if you feel like there's something inside you that's just wanting to come out, you feel stuck, your tires are spinning, everybody around you is thinking you're crazy, but you feel like there's more. You're not alone. There's a lot of people who feel that, and it's just finding the right community, the right like-minded people around you. Even finding just shows like ours or Tom Bilyeu's amazing, Tony Robbins. I mean, name them. There's so many great podcasts and alternatives out there that you can turn to really just become your better self. What we want to do, John talks about parable of the talents and giving talents. And I truly believe, like David Goggins even goes deeper into, is he gives a better presentation to how I feel truly in my, I guess after listening to him, it really drove me or struck something in me. But David Goggins' story, anybody who hasn't heard, he was working as like a bug terminator or something. I don't know. He was doing something, bug something, and way
He was an
overweight,
exterminator.
very unhealthy, not, just everything because of his surroundings. And he knew there was more, but he didn't know how. But his biggest fear and what pushed him, and I guess what pushed me, and so if you need that little motivation to push that out of you, maybe this will. But what pushed him was, he said, and again, he says it way better, so I'm just going to use my own words. But in the end, he says he hates the picture that you get to this. The game is over. Yeah, obviously, there's only certain things we know that are for certain. Death and taxes. Those are always certain in everybody's life. But and he's talking about when we die, he can't picture going to this gate and seeing this chart. And I thought you were going to do this. I thought you were going to do that. No, but you did this. And when he said that, I thought, whoa, is that what I'm feeling inside? Like, do I have more that has to come out? Is there more talents that God gave me that I'm not using? Is there more? Why do I feel this uncomfortable feeling as soon as he said that? And then, so his whole goal is to outwork the chart. He wants to outwork that. He wants to, in the end, get to that final resting place, meet whoever that person is, that maker, whatever that future next life is for you. And he wants to have him say, woo, I seen this and I seen this, but I never seen this. Wow, I can't believe you did this. He wants to surprise him. that's, I guess, what's always been pushing me. I want to be that, wow, I thought you could do this, but man, I never thought you're going to be able to do that. And I guess that's what drives me. That's what pushes
So
me. So I want to bring that out
you
of people.
said,
Stacey, go. I know you're ready to bust, so go.
yeah, you said Goggins, but I'm going to use my own words. So if I'm talking Goggins, I have to use my own words because I wouldn't want my mama to hear me using his words.
Hey, man.
But his book Can't Hurt Me is awesome. And if you don't really want to read it and would like a burn down, if you go to my YouTube channel, a couple of years ago on my 51st birthday, I ran a 51K, and I broke up the 51K by listening to his book, and I would stop and give a review of the book and some insights that I gained from reading the book. So to Goggins, and you kind of want to hear some just a really old, tired guy's thoughts on what the book is all about. Check it out. It was pretty cool. It was a fun thing to do.
Well, I'll tell you, I will be checking it out. Hopefully, I'll put it out in the chat too for you guys, or in the messages, or under the actual video. I'm sorry, on YouTube, so that you guys can check it out too. I would love to check that out. I love David Goggins. I think, although again, I agree, he swears a lot. He's very passionate, and I think he fought through a lot. Again, I think his passion and certain people's passion come out because they're the demons that they had to fight through. I think we all have demons we're fighting through, in some way. That's what this life is about. I think you're done when you prove you fought through enough of those demons.
Yeah. My son and I, we went rim to rim at the Grand Canyon together, and he was struggling. At the time, I was in a little better shape than he was, but he was struggling, and I just kept telling him, "You got to callous your mind."
Yes! I didn't know you were such a big fan of David Goggins. This is awesome. I love. Yeah, he changed my life. Seeing some of his videos, and just I sometimes need that. So I'm my second oldest son. He said, Dad, the only thing I missed not being with you is discipline. You would have been more disciplined. And I was like, well, back then I wouldn't have been either. But yeah, I need that too. And I wasn't disciplined even at that age, but I figured out that really, I mean, the only two things we can control in the end is our effort and our attitude. Our effort's going to come completely from discipline and habits, and our attitude is just how we see the world. What do we want to? What lens do we want to look through? Do we want to look through a positive? Do we want to look through a negative? And we'll get into that deeper. I won't go down that rabbit hole right now, but I want to go to some of the comments, and then we're going to close out here. So. Well, I'll bring this one back up because I love that one. We're going to finish that one. But so good morning, Ashley. No worries again for being late, y'all. Thank you for even just clicking and shouting out. So please, thank you. And again, we appreciate any and all support. I love this. Trust your gut and feed your vision. Amen. Amen. And then it looks like this must be somebody who knows you, Stacey, but says, I remember that. I need to go back and watch it again. So somebody's seen it. I can't. So
That's
whoever that is,
that's the
whoever that one viewer is, share your name or give a shout out, or maybe some cryptic even names so Stacey knows who you are. But I want to go back to this and we'll finish with this. Antoine, great dude. He's been. I'll even share this, and this is probably what drives Stacey. I heard Stacey on David Perez say he does a lot of pro bono. I'm that sucker too. Please don't use that against us. But Antoine has been following from the start, and if it wasn't from positive people sharing how I've helped, so Antoine, you'll never know how your message kept me to wanting to do this. So it's really because of people like you sharing that somebody like me, who I feel like, who even wants to listen to me, what value can I give? I think we all fall in there, but we all have a story to share. And so it's because of great people like Antoine, I really get to do this now, I feel like. But so he talks about don't loader your time because you can't buy more. I think once, and I want to end there because I think this will really wrap up this second episode a lot better than our first did. But that is so powerful, and I'm going to leave that up there actually as we talk about this. But time, I feel like, and once my mindset changed from money is the chase, things are the chase, or money is the chase for the things. And I switched my mindset to money is just option. Money is just energy. Money is just more opportunity to try new things. And I realized that time is my most valuable currency. Time is what I'm trading for these things or this money or this whatever. And is it really worth it to me? And once I really started to break down, like, is this worth my time? That's when I started to really be, and I'm sure, Stacey, I'll let you finish this and take us out, but it's where I started to be very, very much more intentional with who I talk to, who I spend time with. I'll talk to anybody, but again, I think John Hewitt does this amazing. I think John Hewitt is very intentional with his time. It's very short if it's needed. It's longer if it's needed, but he knows what's needed. And I think once we can understand where we can be the value to that person who may need our time, and we're now offering or basically giving away that currency that is our most valuable that we have. Um, he finds that purpose and there's an intention. But I think once I really that flip the switch up here, that time is really, why am I wasting it doing this? I could be doing this. Do I really want to do this? No, I actually want to be with them. And I think that's something we always have to check in with. Matthew McConaughey, talks about bank accounts. I think the truth, there's a lot of truth to a lot of different ideas. It's just connecting those dots. He talks about bank accounts, but it's also about checking in on those bank accounts. Friends, you're working hard, you're in the struggle, you're in the grind of a new business, a startup, you're too much in the technician, and now your family bank account starts to go down, your relationship with friends start to go down. You got to check in on those. And so I think, like, really being intentional with your time, really being intentional with the season of life that you're in, and really always checking into those buckets to make sure that they're in the positive and not the negative. I think is really the goal in the end of life. Stacey, go ahead and finish this out. Again, going off of his and preview and plug David Perez for the next show as well.
Yeah, cool. So I guess just to bring us back where we started with intention and priorities, time, every one of us have the same amount. There's no managing of time. We have to manage ourselves within the time that we're all allotted. And so what we have to get better at is intention and priorities, so that we're doing the right things with the time that we have. And if you can do that, you'll start to see results right away. And Perez, our guest that's going to be with us Tuesday, is really, really, he's good at this, and he's also good at managing his time, and he sets time for his own growth. He sets time to grow as leaders. He sets time to have that visionary time to grow the business. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. And we're going to start a little bit later next week. We're going to start at 9:30 Eastern instead of 9. So just plug that into the calendar, and I hope you guys will show up and be with us.
Amen. All right. Well, hey, thank you guys all for joining us again for the second episode of the Robinhood Capitalists. Again, we hope that if anything, you just take a little nugget from the wisdom of Coach Stacey B here or myself, and it really helps you to unlock and unlock that greatness, that beast inside of you, and it helps just keep your journey failing forward. Fail forward, fail faster. In the end, that's the key. But again, until next time, please. Oh, hey, hold on. Before we go out, I see she said who it was. Ashley Garcia.
That is my lovely niece in Alabama. Hey, Ashley.
Yes. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for saying that and sharing that too. Also said good stuff here. Whoever that might be Ashley as well. But again, thank you all seriously for joining us and for any of the support. If you found any value in anything we talk about, share, or you know somebody going through some of the struggles or journeys that we are sharing with you here, share this. Obviously, we want the help to promote us and get the word out there. I really want to help. I think Stacey, along with the hundreds and thousands of business owners, franchisees throughout the Liberty world to what he's done currently and what he's doing can help change a lot of people's life and take you to that next level. Again, remember, guys, this life is just a game of life. If you could picture this game as just a game, and your goal is just to get to the next level, it's really just figuring out the skills you need to unlock, and by finding key mentors like Stacey, coaches like Stacey, the greatest coaches. Coach Gary Vee has, I think, 3 or 4 coaches. Coaches need coaches. It's
I have 2, 3 coaches. Yeah.
There you go. See, Stacey has coaches. Everybody needs a coach. You need that mentor to keep you in the lines when you're starting to paint outside, especially if you're like me. You sometimes overfill too much. Again, until next time, y'all, we want you to help create your heaven on earth and feed the good wolf.
Awesome. See you next week.